Going on, everyone? Rabid in the house, coming at you with an educational video on how to set up your very own KASPA node in Windows and then point your mining rigs towards it so you can begin the solo mining journey and help add on even more decentralization to the KASPA network. So before we get into this, some of you guys may be asking yourself, why would I even want to run a node in the first place? And there's a couple answers for that. One is adding decentralization to the KASPA network by holding your own copy of the blockchain. So what does that mean? Think of, an older Christmas tree where you have series versus parallel type of circuits going on. So remember, your light bulb burns out, your whole freaking line goes out, everything's dead. That is obviously a centralized entity. It's not decentralized. Decentralized is more the other way, where if you pull out that light bulb or it burns out, the rest just keep on going. So you can knock down a factor, say a country has a power outage or the government smacks them hard. They wipe that entire infrastructure out, but everybody else on there causing this decentralization on the blockchain, you can't shut everybody out. So it maintains the blockchain and just adds more sources for the blockchain to continue on throughout, mad havoc stuff. Another reason is it does have a built-in wallet. You can solo mine to these nodes as well. So there's a couple of reasons that you may be up in the air on trying it out yourself. This is a very easy node to actually set up. And I say that every time I do a setup node, but this is probably one of the easiest nodes that I've ever set up. It almost does it all on its own. All right, so let's jump into this and show you how to set this up. First thing you're going to need to do is go on over to the KASPA website, kaspa.org. I will have links to everything I go through down in the description. So you're going to come into here, click on resources. That will bring you to this page, and then you need the desktop wallet KDX. So that'll bring you into here, and it's pretty easy. Simply download the Windows x64 exe, the application right here. Now you can get the version for Linux as well as Macintosh here, but again, this video is for Windows. Once you download that, simply double click it and let it install. It'll do it all by itself. Don't touch a thing. Just hit OK a couple times, you're good to go. So here, I'll even show you. So it's done downloading. I simply click on it right here. It's gonna load everything up. Say yes, ready to roll, do its thing, hit OK on English. Yep, I want to go there. Create a desktop shortcut. You can say yes, say no, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go with it. Hit next. I got too many of those shortcuts anyway. And install. And that's it. It is loading, installing everything. Good to go. Once it's done, simply hit OK and open up the KDX wallet. Launch KDX, finish. All right, so I just hit that, bam, here we are. So I like to keep everything as is, go to the default locations here, but now you can pick your KASPA configuration. Now KASPA node, that's all you need here. CPU miner, that's before the miners and everything were even released, like LOL miner and all that, but you could just mine this throughout the node itself through the built-in CPU miner. Same thing when GPUs came out, we got that happening. Self-contained KASPAD mining. Now this is if you want to have the entire blockchain downloaded without any type of pruning. It will take a lot more room on your hard drive, but we do have the KASPAD archival node here and the archival node plus miner. So choose whatever one you want. In this case, I'm just going with the KASPAD node. It's pretty fast to sync up and it runs just fine. It's got the pruning process in it. It's not very, very large and it works just fine. Once you choose everything you want, if you do plan on changing your folder, then just simply go to proceed. Click on that. It's going to begin loading the entire node spot here. Let it do its thing. I do have miners running right now, so it might be a little slower than usual. So here we are. This is pretty much it. We have everything ready to go. Hit the X, get rid of that. Now it's going to begin the syncing process. Here we have our wallet. So if you already have like a web wallet or something, as you know, the web wallet has been down for a couple days now. All you got to do is recover from seed, put your seed phrase into here, and your wallet will be forwarded into here. Now myself, because it's a node, I do have a web wallet, and I did create a new wallet for my actual node, and I named it node. So I can kind of tell things apart when I'm testing different things. So if you want a new wallet, simply create a new wallet, write down your seed phrase, don't lose it, and go from there. But you can use both wallets back and forth, web wallet to here and so on. But I do recommend using this wallet for all your transactions. It's just a more decentralized way to go about it. Now, if we click over on settings, we do have our dark theme here. We can scroll down. We do want the advanced on so we can see all the other options. And then here, depending what you chose, you can also change, GPU miner, I'll hit the reset button. It'll bring that up, hit apply. and it changes the parameters in here. You can also edit all this stuff by yourself. If you're a coder or something, you know the parameters to put in, you can definitely do that as well. But you can simply move all these parameters around. So I'm just going to go back to node here, reset, apply, and you can see it's all there. So we're going to come back to the start here. Now, obviously we just installed this. We're not in sync or anything yet. So you're going to have to wait for everything to sync up, get the wallet like I mentioned earlier, and so on. So I'm going to jump into my node box now where I actually have everything set up, and we'll continue on how you can actually mine to your node once it's fully in sync. All right, so here I am on my capture card, and this is my node totally in sync now. You can see how things look different. We got our latency here. We got our DAG sync, the percentages, peers connected, all sorts of information that you need for your node. Now, we also got this CAS pad here now as well, and this is telling you all the blocks, the pruning, and so on. This will pop up for you once you start getting a connection to peers and stuff when you initially install it. So everything is same as usual. Here's all my settings. You can see I just have it set on normal CASPad node and so on. And then my wallet, do I have it logged in? So it's still logged in. It is online. Everything's in sync. Now, if you do see offline here and it has been synced up for a while, it is a kind of minor bug. You might just have to shut down your node, restart it again, log into your wallet, and it'll disappear and go online. So if you are noticing that it's staying offline and not going online, it does have to do a few additional things after it's done syncing the node itself to get all the transaction stuff for the wallet. So it will take longer than the normal sync process for your wallet to be online. But if it looks like it won't go online, it's just stuck there on offline, it'll be red here, simply restart it. So that's it. So in order to mine to your node, you need to set up your own Stratum. It is not built into the KDX app itself. So unlike other nodes where you can just point to the IP4 address, get the proper port, it's not going to work here. We're going to have to do one extra step. So for my Windows node, I am going to use the KASPA Stratum bridge. And if you are familiar with proxies, that's pretty much exactly what this is. We're setting this up. It's just like mining to a proxy, and it's going to point your hash rate over towards your node and allow that connection. So this Stratum bridge actually connects to the node, and then your miners will connect to the Stratum, and that's how you will mine KASPA through your node. All right, so you are going to want to know the IP4 address of whatever PC is running the node. So in order to find that, you just simply go to your command prompt. You can go down to search down here, go to your command prompt and type ipconfig. All right, so here you can see the IP4 address is right here. And in my case, it's 192.168.1.70. So you're going to have to remember that IP, write it down or something, and then close this out. Next up, we're going to open up our actual Stratum thing. So I'm going to come into here. I'll go into my documents. My mouse is a little slow, so I apologize for that. We're going to go into my nodes, KASPA, and then I'm going to go to KS Bridge. So I just downloaded it and I extracted it into a KASPA folder by itself so I knew where it was. And then we're going to have to go to this config.yaml. So to set this up, it might look like it's not readable by anything. Simply hit the right click button on it and then open with. And we're just going to use Notepad to open this up and read it and do some small adjustments. Mine's already set up here, but I'll tell you what to look for. So here we have the Stratum port. So when you point to this right now, you already know what you're going to point your miners to. The port will be 5555 in this case. And now you're going to scroll down till you do find below this hashtag here, the KASPA address. And this is where you're going to put it in. Now, by default, it will say local node, and then it'll have your semicolon here, and then the port 16110. Put in the IP4 address that you just found in the previous step. In my case, again, that is 192.168.1.70, and that's it. It'll already have this port ready for you. When you're done that, simply hit the save button, and you're good to go. But keep in mind, this is the IP address we are going to use when we point our rigs to, and we're going to be using this point. I'll show you when we get there. All right, so once you do get that config file saved and set up, we're going to run the bridge. Now, the bridge is what actually connects to the node, and then we'll be pointing our GPUs and other rigs towards this bridge as like you would in a normal proxy. Now, the reason I'm choosing this way, I feel it's a lot easier for you guys to run everything, the bridge and the node, on the same PC. That way it makes the IP4 address the same for everything. You can run the bridge on any PC that you want, but then you got to adjust the IP around. It'll get a little more confusing if you don't know what you're doing. So hopefully this is the easiest way for you. So now we're simply going to run this bridge, double click it. There it is. We're going to minus this so you can see it actually connecting to the node. And here you can see RPC incoming connection from 192.168.1.70. That is, in fact, our node PC, because that's where we're running this bridge from. So this here is now connected to our node, and this is what you would see in like a mining pool or something. So we now have our Stratum hooked to our node. Now we got to point our rigs towards this bridge. So I am going to start here in Windows and pointing to this bridge here to mine on our own node. So I'm simply going to go into my GPUs here, KASPA, solo node, and then I got LOL miner. So we're utilizing LOL miner. And then I do my overclock through the LOL miner GUI. You can see that right here. I'm using 1440 on the core, 300 offset, 5001 mem clock. Now for KASPA, you'd be using 810 here, not here. I'm currently mining Nexa, but I will be mining to this KASPA node soon. But this is just to show you that I use the GUI to overclock. And this does work with AMD GPUs as well. Obviously, you need different overclocking, but this GUI will overclock AMD GPUs. But moving on now, we're going into mine KASPA. We're going to right click, edit this bat file, and you're going to want to put your parameters up here as well as down here. Now I think this W10 here, Windows 10, this is where it actually gets everything from, because I didn't have a worker name until I put it down here. So I'm not 100% sure if this even does anything, but I put it there anyway. Regardless, this is what we're going to need to do. So here is your pool, 192.168.1.70. That is the IP4 address of where the bridge and our node is. And remember earlier I mentioned that triple or quadruple 5 port from our Stratum miner. So let's just jump back into that again. We'll go up here. Remember, Stratum port, that's the port we're using here. So here's our KASPA address. We pointed this towards our node with the IP and port that we're going to be mining on. This is the actual KASPA IP right here. And then the port of this proxy is 5555. So we're going to use the address here of our IP4, which I mentioned earlier, and then this port 5555, and then simply put in your KASPA address here, followed by a period, and then whatever worker name you want. RabidWS is what I'm using, and then I'm just going to close this out. I'll minus this. Actually, that's on it. I got too many mice here, guys. Sorry, I apologize for that. Minus that out with the other mouse, and then I'm going to close out my other miner, which is currently on Nexa, and then I'm going to open up that one and connect. So I'm going to double click here, and there we can see it is connecting to there. So there we go. My GPU on my workstation is now connecting to my Stratum, which is on my node PC, which is then linked to my node itself. And now you can see it's going to come up with the IP. It will swap over to the worker name here soon, but it'll now start gathering shares. We already actually have one accepted share here, but it's now mining to the nodes. I'm technically solo mining KASPA right now at home at my own node, 0% pool fee, because it's all mine. We're greedy like that, guys. We're miners. So you may have noticed that it did swap over from the IP address over to our worker name. So now we have RabidWS here for workstation. It's mine. This is a 3090. Obviously, it's supposed to be doing a lot more hash rate, but I got capture cards open, screens open, recording. I'm doing all sorts of things at the same time, as well as mining on it and CPU mining all at the same time. So we're not seeing the hash rate you should see at this point because of so much going on this. All right, so that's how you connect Windows machines to your node in Windows. Now I'm going to show you how to connect to it in HiveOS. Now there's other various Stratums you can use by using multiple miners within HiveOS itself, but we can skip and bypass all that. We already have this set up on our Windows node machine. So we're just going to point to this, just like what we did in Windows. It's very, very simple. So here we're going to choose coin, KASPA, choose your wallet if you already have your wallet, and I'm assuming you do. Pool, we're going to configure this in the miner. Simply scroll all the way down to the bottom and then choose your miner. Name it whatever you want here. I went KASPA node solo, but we're going to set up our miner config. And here you can see it's exact same settings that we use in our Windows. So you're going to pick your coin or algo. In this case, we're going with KASPA right there. Wallet worker name. This is blank when you first put it in. So just go to wallet here, hit your period, Put this in, worker name like so, and then your pool server. So remember, this is the IP4 address of our actual bridge there. So 192.168.1.70. And the port, remember, we're using 5555. And then you can set all your extra parameters here for your overclock and so on. Simply hit the apply changes here and then update or create, depending if you're on a new or editing a flight sheet. And then simply send this to the moon. Now we're going to go into our node here and we're going to see a new connection happen once this flight sheet does load up. So we're going to wait a few minutes here because there we go. So it's already connecting. As you can see, right now it is connecting. LOL miner. We should be able to see OCTOMINER in here somewhere. It's not there yet. So we'll just wait for it to update for a second. And this IP will turn to OCTOMINER 1. And I'll let it play out so you guys can see that it actually works. There we go. OCTOMINER 1. Just hit there, 2.51 gigahash. Obviously, it's going to take a couple seconds, 20 seconds or so to ramp up. But now in HiveOS, we now have a HiveOS rig linked to our Windows node. We also have our Windows GPU linked into our node. So we are 100% solo mining KASPA on our own node at this point. And then if you just want to get rid of the whole operation, hit the X button here and you can see it did disconnect here from that IP. Our Stratum is now offline and none of our miners are mining because there's no Stratum to connect to anymore. All right, so I went around and I just turned everything on to KASPA to try some solo mining, and it was only about 10 minutes and it looks like I just hit a block. So this is going to be a good time to make sure my node actually works. So I'm going to wait a second, go to my wallet and see if it looks like we hit a block or not. All right, so I'm just going to bring up my wallet, seeing how we're using the node as a wallet. Hit the wallet here and there it is. Pending 246.94. So what better way to wrap up how to solo mine to your own node by actually hitting a block itself? That's pretty awesome. So there you go. It looks like the node is up and running and working 100%. The funds are now available within the node wallet itself. So I actually just want to scroll up and see how long I was actually running for before I hit that block. So scrolling in. There we go. 8 minutes is right there. There's one block right after 7:10. So let's go 7.5 minutes is about when this block hit. It keeps jumping on me, but I think it was around the 7 to 7.5 minute mark. Not very long, but at least it's verification that this is 100% working. So hopefully this did help you guys out to add more decentralization to the chain. Also, when Rust comes, we're going to have 35-second block times, which means blocks will be happening so much faster that it'll give more blocks for solo miners to gain more, I guess, in theory, profitability. So that's another awesome thing that's coming April 15th, right around the corner. Let me know if this video helped you out. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and join the Discord. Link is in the description. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.